What's happening, what's happening, what's happening? Because you know it's your boy B-Hot Radio Shout. As always, I got my podcast partner off in this thing, the original hot boy himself, Turk. What's good with it, my dog?
Still on fire, I'm on fire.
Ooh!
You dig?
I mean, Turk, we got another NO partner off in this thing,
Yeah,
though,
my brother
Dee-1,
from another.
What's good with it, boss?
Man, I feel like I'm with family right now,
You
bro.
is,
family.
you is.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, D, first of all, man, I mean, speaking of family times and stuff like that, you know, I saw my family member trending on TikTok, Instagram, and every blog site in the world.
Yes, sir.
Because you done got into it with Ricky Rose, the Ross, and Meek Mill, and everybody else. I mean, how did all of this stuff come about, sir?
Well, I love those brothers.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that you could get into it with people from loving them so much that I wanted to be honest with them. Just about the fact that they have massive platforms and they speak for millions in the black community. So to continually use that massive platform to glorify murder and drug dealing in their music, like what I was hearing from the recent singles that just dropped, I was just like, yo, you can do better. And I said that. And I said that on Sway in the Morning. And in me saying that, what they say, a hit dog gonna holler, you know what I mean? Because I'm saying this passionately because I'm just like, it's confusing messaging to the youth when they're like, whoa. And all I'm doing is reiterating what I said on Sway. It's confusing messaging to the youth when they're like, man, Meek Mill is the face of prison reform, but Meek Mill is also talking about getting cats murked at the red light in his new song and talking about putting a bag on people's head and all that. And when Ross is doing the same thing, it's confusing, you know? And it makes other communities not take our community seriously. So all I did was speak on that. And the fact that I spoke on, like, look, I love you too much to not be honest with you, because so many millions of people feel the way I feel, but they just intoxicated with the ignorance.
It's called a silent majority as well, too.
A silent majority, bro.
You know.
And a brother like me that's just like, man, I'm here to serve God, man. Like at the end of the day, I got to read this before we get started. Matthew 10:37. If you love your father or mother more than you love me, you are not worthy of being mine. Or if you love your son or daughter more than me, you are not worthy of being mine. Brother, with that being said, these attachments that artists have to the industry, to just doing what they said people want to hear, or to doing what their record labels are requiring them to do, that means that, and I'm not just talking about those artists now, I'm talking about artists in general, that means a lot of artists who are in very popular positions and rich positions, they just rich slaves.
I think it takes growth, you know, and everybody got their time where they reach a level of where Dee-1 at, you know what I'm saying? Even me being an artist, you know, I tell people, you know, don't be influenced by what I do, be inspired to reach inside yourself to do what's inside of you, you know what I'm saying? And I think from some of the places where we grew up at, you know what I'm saying, we still have that mental picture of how we grew up, and we express ourselves and we paint these pictures, you know what I'm saying, not to necessarily glorify, because I think glorification comes in when you telling them this what you need to go do versus I'm just painting a picture. Because if you think about it, Denzel Washington, and I use this all the time, he played bad cop in Training Day. You know what I'm saying? It's a role. It's a act. When he go home, he's Denzel Washington. He's not that bad cop. And just as well as Martin and Will, they play bad boy. You know what I'm saying? So I think rappers get a more like backlash. You know what I'm saying? When they rap these lyrics. Now, you right, and I feel like give them a time in a you know, a little space to grow, because we all have to grow to be a Dee-1
with all
in our speech. You know what I'm saying?
With all due respect, what about when you 47 years old?
That don't mean we're grown. That don't mean we're grown. That don't mean we mentally mature. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm 42 years old, you know what I'm saying? And I stand for family, you feel me? I denounced the streets, you know what I'm saying, when I came home out of prison, and I got backlash for it. The old me will be going back and forth, trying to, you know, keep my image, whatever, but I realize I got a wife. I realize I got kids. So certain things that I would normally do in these situations, I think before I react now. Everybody, no matter how old you is, 'cause I see a lot of people older than me that's rich, but mad, sad, depressed, you know what I'm saying? So it'd be more of a have you grow spiritually, mentally, you know what I'm saying, to say you a spiritual man, you know what I'm talking about? Everybody not there.
And watch this, brother. We talking about public figures who are putting out public content. Public messages deserve public responses. So we almost getting to a point in society where people saying, man, you can't even say somebody's music whack no more. Like that's hating, that's wrong, da-da-da. All I'm doing is giving commentary on content, not on people's character as a person, on content that's coming out. I'm saying, I know you better than that. I know that y'all, cause y'all are amazing businessmen. And so many artists are amazing human beings off the mic, but when they get on the mic, your music reaches more people than giving away turkeys.
But don't you think sometimes it ain't what we saying, is how we saying it, you know? And not to make it about me, but I had a situation with Rick Ross, you know, and when I went to Drink Champs, you know, I said some things, and the way how I said it, when I went back and replayed it, I was like, damn, if I was any one of those guys, I'd probably feel the same way. You know what I'm saying? So when Rick Ross did respond to me, I was trending. You feel me? Rick Ross being the businessman he is, it's an opportunity for him to jump out there. And he promoting his wings and everything else he got, but he disrespected my wife. I had to swallow that. I was getting phone calls like, bro, da-da-da-da-da. I like, nah, bro. I had to take accountability for how I delivered the message, even though I was trying to be correct at my speaking, but it came out the wrong way. And I think he took it the wrong way, and that's how he responded. Sometimes it ain't what we saying, it's how we say it. You know what I'm saying?
This the part I want to make clear to everybody. I don't mind if my spirit irritates someone else's demons. That don't make me feel like I did something wrong. That make me feel like I did what God has put us here to do. In Romans 12:2, it says, don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. I'm not trying to follow the rules of what people say. You got to tiptoe around this person's feelings. People will justify evil, and people's excuse for evil is called entertainment. That's their excuse for evil nowadays. Oh, it's just entertainment. You know, man, what I heard when I press play and what everybody else is hearing is you in first person glorifying the murder of people in your own community, selling dope to people in your own community. But we want to run behind, one, don't say nothing about that person's art in public. Don't say that out loud. You should have hit them up one-on-one. Or two, we want to say, man, that's just entertainment. That ain't real. I was telling Beehive before we started, there's a difference between glorification, narration, and education.
Correct.
When cats are glorifying something, that puts it on a pedestal to where it's like, this behavior right here, this ain't out of survival mode. This is me already being up. I'm already winning in life financially, but I'm still choosing to glorify and make this behavior seem admirable. Narration is when you're talking about what you've seen as a youngin', you heard me? When you're talking about what you've seen and you like, man, coming up in that Noya, you heard me? Like this what it was like. Coming up in the east side, you heard me? Coming up in the Goose, this what it was like in New Orleans, da-da-da-da. Education is when you saying, man, I might have used to been doing this stuff, but I'm about to educate y'all to show y'all how I got up hundreds of millions of dollars now and how I really was able to, you know, overcome all them odds that were stacked against me.
And I agree completely with everything you just said and how you broke all those down. We like I say, we illustrate, don't mean we demonstrate. You know what I'm saying? And when we rapping these things, we trying to relate to a certain audience. You know what I'm talking about? When we are spitting these rhymes, you have your audience, he have his audience, she have her audience. You know what I'm saying? Everybody have their own audience, and whatever they audience pays for, I believe that's what people as an artist deliver. I don't think some people are necessarily that person that they're given to them people? Because if they was, man, I did 8 years, 8 months, 16 days in the penitentiary for something that was real that I did. You know what I'm saying? Do you still think it's glorification to the point where they saying, come on, we about to ride tonight. After I finish in this studio, I'm about to go kill something. Is it the responsibility of the people that's listening and the parents who are allowing their kids to listen to grown folks' music? Because it do say parental advisory. You know what I'm saying? The last time I checked. We all got to hold ourselves accountable. Not saying that it's right, not saying that it's wrong, but we got to give each other a time to grow. You know what I'm saying? Dee-1, you're a phenomenal person and a rapper, you know, and I think you can be probably a little judgmental to a lot of people how you deliver it. You know what I'm saying? I can understand you because I have bulletproof emotions. You know what I'm saying? I'm a spiritual person, so I know you're coming from a spiritual place. But what about those people who are not there? Because it took me to grow here. You know what I'm saying? So just consideration in that, like because we all hold a responsibility. We all got to hold ourselves accountable for we say, including me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm speaking from experience of how I've been dealing with, you know, high-profile individuals and not taking a chance. Because I could have responded back when, you know, he disrespected my wife. You feel me? I could have told my homeboy, yeah, man, whatever, you know what I'm talking about? But I took that on the chin because I know my intentions of what I was saying and why I was saying it. And I let it ball down, and I even reached out to homie, you know what I'm saying? So evidently, he didn't want to talk. So I took that as a cool, you know what I'm saying? I see where me and him stand at as human beings. I'm on this level, he on that level. He got his blow in. I didn't intend to blow on him. But if that's what he think, he got to deal with that, you feel me? So sometimes, man, we just got to let it go. But what happens when you go back and forward? Do you become any better or any different from what they are doing?
Right. It's very important if there is continued ongoing dialogue to not turn it into just trying to make fun of people. Like, for example, the response that was given to me having that video was just a response that I chuckled at it. You know, I found it funny. You know, I sipped some apple juice and I got a good laugh out of it. I was like, I got 2 new nicknames. I got called Basket Head. You hear me? I got called Lil Man, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, the Lil Man did it.
Lil Man was
6'2", but
yeah.
That Lil Man did it.
And my New Orleans accent.
But
you
he
heard me?
is a big guy, so you know, Lil Man.
But I serve a bigger God though. You know what I mean? So you know, it's like we both Lil Man compared to the God that created us both.
Yeah.
So if you had to say it any difference on how you delivered it on Sway, looking back at it now, would you change the way you delivered it? You stand on the way you delivered it and he got to deal with it. This is what I stand, this what I stand on business.
I said the individuals' names. I said, I love you too much to not be honest with you. Then I said their names and I said, brother, I love you too much to not be honest with you. I reiterated that. Then the one individual who chose to let emotions and ego, I think, you know, like dictate their response to me, that person, I didn't even go in detail about them. I went in detail talking about the brother Meek Mill, you know, and shout out to Meek Mill.
Shout out to Meek.
You know why?
Yeah.
Shout out to Meek Mill because Meek responded as well. Meek reposted the video clip where I was primarily talking about him, and I quote myself. All I said was, yo, if you the face of prison reform, I said, are you the face of prison reform or are you glorifying murder in your new song, you know, that you just dropped? I said, well, like, which one is it, brother? I said, because, like, I was proud of you, you know, coming out of jail and the stances that you have taken and the growth that you've shown in so many aspects of your life. And I got nephews who listen to you. I got youth that I work with all across this country who listens to you, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so I said that Meek's response, I got to applaud him because he responded and he was honest, number one. Even if I disagreed with his stance, he was honest and he didn't reply with emotion or ego.
Yeah.
He replied and said, he said, nah, we do everything, LOL. basically saying I could be the face of prison reform and I could glorify murder in my music. He was like, I've been rapping this way since before I was the face of reform. He was like, y'all forgot that fast? So, and that's what that was. You know, in terms of you know, anyone else responding, I know me saying people's names, would I say it any differently? You know what's interesting is that the more important conversation is about the principle and not the person. Mm-hmm. The principle right here is that I'm drawing a line. This is good. I want people to hear this.
I'm with you.
Right now, for the first time in a long time, I'm drawing a line in the sand in the hip-hop industry. And all I'm doing is simply drawing that line and saying, what side of the line are people on? If you stand for and want to represent righteousness, then you're on this side of the line. And if you want to represent evil and negativity, then you're on that side of the line. I'm still not judging you if you're on that side, but let's draw that line. Because you know what God hates more than people on either side of that line? God hates people who are lukewarm. Yeah. That's in the word. And the whole industry is lukewarm at this point. Yeah. And that's the issue, is all I'm doing is drawing a line behind Turk. And because I'm drawing a line and being like, let's dissect what's actually being put out there right now and what we are consuming. I'm asking fans, pick what side of the line y'all are on too. And me drawing that line is making a lot of people uncomfortable because now they're like, man, this whole industry is lukewarm and we was very comfortable right there. And this is making people uncomfortable.
Okay, so glorifying, that word, you take a stance on that. Glorify, it means to praise or honor something or someone, often in a highly positive or exalted manner. Typically to highlight their virtues, achievements, or significance. It can be a way of celebrating and elevating the importance or value of a particular person, idea, or thing. So when you're saying glorify, do you say that they are only talking about killing? Because listening to both of those guys, you might have a song where they talking about the struggle, talking about getting to the money, motivating and inspiring. Like it's a variety of music. Like even me, I might have one song talking about this, but then I got this song talking about my heroin and cocaine addiction, how I overcame that, where I am teaching and giving a lesson. You feel me? And I'm quite sure that as an artist, I think everybody have those moments, you know what I'm saying? Have you listened to any other lyrics from them that you could say, this is what we need more of, instead of saying, this is what I don't want to hear because this is glorifying to the kids and you sending the wrong message?
Absolutely. Both of those brothers, first of all, I'm a hip-hop fan, so both of those brothers have multiple songs in their musical catalog that it's like, oh, you putting people up on some real positive game right here. Like, this is dope. These were the singles that they chose or that they record labels chose that's gonna come out ahead of the album. When you put a single out, you know this from putting singles out, you pick that single because you like, I really want people to pay attention to this song. The album got 17 tracks, but the singles is what I want people to.
This is gonna sell for right now.
Or this is gonna sell. So which master are we serving?
I have us talking about it right
now. God said you can't serve two masters. You can't serve God and money. So if you're more concerned about what's gonna sell than how God is gonna view you putting that out and creating that type of energy in the world with your music, then that's problematic. And I feel like I had a right to say that publicly if Cass is putting his music out.
I don't believe, because they got secular music now and the music is changing. Even in my church, they the sound and the beat is different, and a lot of older people who are traditional, the preacher talk about them. See, y'all can't relate to this hip hop type beat of the gospel being spread, but look at these kids, their lives are being changed. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, bro, I just think, you know, we have to like put more energy towards the positive things, and I think, you know, like giving away those turkeys. Those turkeys, that a lot of like hungry people out there, just as well as you giving out those shoes. Like, why we don't come together and highlight that as brothers? You feel me? We always got to tear each other down and focus on the small thing, because that's just a small piece that we could come to the table and do what we doing right now and have a communicated, you know, situation where we can either agree to disagree or, you know what I'm saying, we could beef. You feel me? And I don't think none of us want no beef.
It's definitely not beef.
Even when we going back and forth, to bring it back to the kids, glorifying that the way on social media, even though you could be saying, I come in love, some people might take that as you being sarcastic. sarcasm. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, he trolling, he this, he that. It send mixed messages when we even go back and forth on social media versus us doing it privately. You feel me?
But what happened when you reached out to Rose?
You just gotta.
He ain't reply.
Back. I reached out to him, but I just let everybody know that I did that. You know what I'm saying? It was between me and whoever. You feel me? I didn't get mad about it, and I believe time have its time, and I still gonna run into Ross when it's time. You feel me? I don't have a problem with nobody.
Oh yeah, me
you
neither.
Feel me?
Me neither.
But I can't keep on going around saying things, and I don't got a problem with you because people see things different. You know what I'm saying? So I just let silence be the show that I don't got no problem with you.
I just think I think the music industry is a unique place because once again, evil has a disguise and it's called entertainment. Because in the name of entertainment, and that's somebody's art, you're not supposed to criticize their art, or that person is already this successful, so you're not supposed to say nothing about that. What it allows is anything to be wide open. Like a lot of people talk about the state of female rap right now, and where it is in terms of different artists, different females, and what's being pushed and being glorified. And it's like if you say something against that, you considered a hater. Nowadays, man, that's mental manipulation, man. To be like, so you mean to tell me this could be done in front of millions of people out here in the public, but we gotta be quiet.
Now you have a right to speak and voice your opinion, but you know, opinion is the cheapest commodity in the world. That's why everybody got an opinion. You feel me? Just like they have an opinion to say is right, you have an opinion to say is wrong. You feel me? And that's why we gonna continue to have arguments at, you know what I'm saying, who's wrong, who right. You know what I'm talking about? How do we come to an agreement to say, you know what, we gonna both live here and we gonna figure it out some type of way? Because it's not getting no better when we are both having differences and we're focusing on that. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Like what'll be your way of getting the message across? Is it only saying it the way Dee said, or saying it everybody's way and we meet in the middle?
Seeing it everybody's way would require communication from the other party, and I don't mind that communication being public. Like, why do we need to have a one-on-one when the stuff that's being put into question is being promoted publicly? So the music is being promoted publicly. The persona is being promoted publicly. Mm-hmm. With that being said, let's keep these conversations public. Like, that's perfectly fine.
Exactly.
That's perfectly fine. But not everybody wants that, because sometimes people feel like the more that this conversation stays public, the more that I'm gonna sound ridiculous.
Well, you know, after listening to both of you gentlemen snap, I had to come in with my 2 cents.
Please.
And both of you all are speaking from a free man perspective. As free men, it's easy to tell folks what needs to happen and how to live, because you're living off the grid as free men doing what you feel. I wasn't always a free man, fellas. Exactly. Okay? When I worked at the radio station, I was an employee of the radio station. We have these things called liners that we have to read. On one of the liners, it was get your jab. I'm not pro-jab, but that's what the liner was saying. Long story short, I became a free man because I didn't agree with the liner.
You didn't tap dance.
You said I wouldn't tap dance. So I say that to say, now somebody talking to me and looking at me from the outside looking in, they'll be like, hey man, why don't you just read the damn liner and go and get the damn jab, okay? But you have to lay on the sword for that. Every man's not built to be a free man. Exactly. You know, once you lay on that sword, you a free man. Every man's not built like that. Now let's bring millions of dollars onto the table where you're taking care of hundreds of people in your family and friends, and all of that's on the line. Do you go in there and say, okay, I'm a free man, I'm gonna do right, and my whole family gonna be up the damn creek?
I think at some point we all compromise and improvise, you know what I'm saying? Just to live. You know I have sat back and let time fix situations, because some things are just bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna corrupt my character trying to save you because I have to save my own soul. And I think sometimes we get in a point where we want to save you and you don't want to save yourself. You know, we have to sometimes mind the business that pays us, bro. You know what I'm saying? And your soul is more important than my wife's soul, my kid's soul. If they want to go to hell, I say what I say, and I gotta leave it alone because, you know, God can only make it grow. You know what I'm talking about? I could just give it to you as if the Spirit gave it to me, and I did my part, and I feel good about that. You know what I'm saying? I think, you know, sometimes we gotta draw the line right there. When do we say enough is enough? My hands, I'm washing them with that situation. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. Well,
when is your enough is enough?
Yeah. When is my enough
with this
is enough?
particular situation?
Oh, with this particular situation, I mean, I'm done with it. This is no longer about the people. This is about the principles right now. So I do think that it's a moment to be able to educate the masses, because now the masses are paying attention to, like, what's this all about? Like what's going on? This caught my attention. You know, now what's this all about? And when they see, oh, this man Dee-1 got a track record of 15 years of doing this same community work, from being a middle school teacher to now being a college professor to being a full-time hip-hop artist who done toured this country countless times, millions and millions of streams, just put his 10th album out called Uno, debuted number 4 in the world on the Apple Music, iTunes charts, 100% independent, and glorifying God and glorifying a message of be real, be righteous, be relevant in everything he do. When people see that, I feel like that holds a lot of weight, because now there's people who are like, whoa, it's possible. I didn't think it was possible, because we come from the trenches, and people that look like us, we think that it's only one route you could take to make it in the entertainment game and to be successful. And now that they're seeing this a man that's logical, this a man that is fact-based, that's biblically based, and that could spit. This would be different, Turk, if I couldn't rap too.
So do you want the glorification of the fans like Rick Ross and Meek Mills have for your talent and your skill, and you feel like you're not getting that, and that's the reason why you're doing it?
No, this is to educate fans so that the fans don't feel like we have to follow one type of leadership in this culture. And the leadership that we got to follow is certain rap stars, no names mentioned, certain rap stars who continue to glorify a lot of the things that are wrong with this world and glorify their material possessions, how much money they got, worldly wealth, all of this type of stuff. People who might have money in the bank, but morally they bankrupt. And I just want fans to see that we don't have to feel like, well, these are our heroes.
Exactly.
Well, I hear what you're saying with that as well, but then my question would be, when it comes to these artists, they got budgets behind them, okay? Outkast, greatest selling album of all time. It's probably good to say that they had a big-ass budget behind that album, pushing Speaker Box and The Love Below to make it one of the greatest selling albums of all time, not to mention that they were some of the most talented niggas ever born.
Exactly.
But with that being said, when you look at the music, when you hear what you hear on the radio, the labels throw promotion dollars at the radio station.
Exactly.
When it's time to push that single, D-1, I heard your album. But guess what? I like the one about you dating a little better than the one about God. So I'm going to pull, that's going to be your single, and that's what I'm putting my money behind. Now, I know you want to talk about God on 9 out of 10 of them songs, but that one song that it seemed like you was in love a little bit right now, I'm going to put $500,000 behind that, and I'm going to put you in everybody's house. So the question is, do we get mad at the artists, or do we get mad at the money behind them? Because, see, the whole thing is when we start speaking, we got to go to the power. You see what I'm saying? And that's when laying on a sword and becoming a free man gets realer and realer and realer. You see what I'm saying? So when I'm on a radio station and I'm seeing the jab and I'm thinking, okay, I don't want to speak out against this because this is not going to be good for me financially.
Exactly.
It's not going to be good for me socially. Okay, it's not going to be good for me at all. But I do know I'm going to take a stance against it, and I'm going to educate folks, and I'm going to just have to go ahead and lay on the sword for myself for this situation that it is.
Exactly.
So I do. Now, don't get it messed up. I totally agree with you when you say, artists need to control the narrative a lot better of the music that they putting out. But then I say this to the young folks that's coming up. We all grew up in the 90s. One of my favorite groups of all time was Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite songs was Mo Murder. Okay? That was one of my favorite damn songs.
Yeah.
Now, did that make me go out there and murder everybody?
Exactly.
Right.
Or did I just enjoy Bone Thugs and Harmony singing that?
Exactly.
Now, the question is, who the hell was putting the money behind Bone Thugs and Harmony to have me sit in my house talking about Mo Murder every damn night? You see what I'm saying?
Exactly. Then that's why I say, man, we can't put all the pressure on these artists and say, they are the reason for all of this murder, because we have murder in music, we have murder in movies we got murder in books. We don't know where they getting that murder she wrote from. You know what I'm saying?
I got an answer for that too as well. It's called poverty.
Yeah.
Okay, we got the
murder how we
Exactly. Poverty causes us to commit these crimes. We got a elementary school to prison pipeline going on around here as well. As an educator, you know how difficult it is. So now the question is, do we go out here and raise hell and say, you know what, we need to pay these teachers more. We need to make sure that these teachers are getting paid 6 figures. I know these officers are getting paid. Okay? Now let's pay. I guarantee you, if a teacher was making $150 a year, your child is gonna get taught. They're gonna know how to say no to gangs. They're gonna know how to say no to drugs, because somebody getting paid $150 to make sure that they don't. And I'm not about to lose my lifestyle because you want to go out there and ruin your life. I'm gonna save your life.
Exactly.
So in the music industry, the power structure is also an ecosystem. So everybody think about that that emoji on your phone, like the recycling emoji, right? Where it's like them three, it's like a triangle, and it's like them 3 arrows. Each arrow is pointing to the next arrow, and it's like a triangle, right? We're not talking about the power that the fans have. The fans have the power, if they really wanted to hear something different, to be like, nah, you could sell that to me all you want, but I ain't trying to let that in this household. You know what I'm saying? As for me and mine, we gonna be listening to something different. But the fans oftentimes don't want to take up the onus of saying, we want to listen to more of what we claim we want to see in the world. And I think that part of what I'm doing right now is sparking a conversation to where it's saying there's 2 unhealthy attachments in the music industry. It's the attachment that the artists have to these labels that clearly don't care about us. And when you're an artist that's like, man, I really don't want to be on this label, but they giving me $1 million marketing budget. So I got to stay signed to them, and I got to work for them. I'm an employee. I'm not a boss. I'm an employee, and I got to listen to them. That's an unhealthy attachment. We got to figure out how to break that. The second unhealthy attachment is these fans that are so attached to their favorite artists because they grew up on them, that no matter what that artist does, and no matter how much your common sense is telling you, man, this ain't what we need to be pushing to the masses, your attachment to that artist is going to make you still listen to it, still allow it in your subconscious to permeate your brain, to allow your kids to listen to it, and that's unhealthy. So I'm trying to empower the fans right now to be able to say, man, we could actually take a stand and want better for ourselves.
Exactly.
But we got to support that.
So that's why I say we can't put it all on the artist, because I done seen fans go more harder than the artists and put fan pressure. It ain't peer pressure no more. It's fan pressure. You know what I'm saying? You know what they tell me all the time? We want that untamed gorilla Turk. You know what I'm saying?
It's in me, my nigga, to be the thug that I be.
Yeah. So I be like, damn, you know, and sometimes I dip and dab, and they be like, that's what I'm talking about. But then, you know, my spirit get convicted, and I go to like, man, I gotta, you know, bam. But at the same time, I also have to feed my family. You know what I'm saying? So it be like a, you know, I think we operate in fear sometimes of, you know, what might be our next $1 billion check. We walk around in fear, false evidence appearing real. You know what I'm saying?
Chasing that next,
you know,
$10,000 check.
It when it all said and done, it's all come down to that money and what I got to do with that money. You know what I'm saying? For a lot of people, bro.
Watch this, bro. This conversation is so dope. I appreciate both of y'all, man, for this. This conversation is so dope. In our city, in the NO, you could go down there right now and they still bumping 400 Degrees. They still bumping music that came out 25 years ago, because that's the power that music has when it really strikes a chord with a fan. With that being said, Juvenile, Turk, all these brothers have grown up, have matured in so many different ways, but you got fans who are still attached to the old version of them. And that's what they're allowing to be in their spirit every day. And that's something to where you got 48-year-old men that's listening to the music that a dude made when he was 21 years old. Exactly. And you allowing that music to be the soundtrack to your life. That is a powerful attachment that we just got to be aware of. And then we got to say, whoa, let me not let that be unhealthy, because that turned you into a fiend, not a fan, a fiend.
Exactly.
One of my favorite albums of all time is Goody Mob, Soul Food. Okay, I'll bring it up damn near every show. Yeah. Okay, it's an album that aged well. I mean, it predicted the future. We lived a lot of the stuff that we saw in self-therapy video in real time during 2020. They made grown man music at that time that was just for the... I don't even understand how a young man that young could be thinking like a 45-year-old man.
Yeah.
We need more of that in the industry, but the question is... See, no, I'm about to keep it all the way real.
Come on.
Yeah, no, we know what these folks want.
Yeah.
What makes the money is the sex, the drugs, and the violence. That's what's making the money.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, a lot of these folks are trying to pay their damn bills, so they like, you know what, sex, drugs, money, and violence. The reason why Outkast made all that money, because it was the most creative shit out.
Yeah.
You have to dig into your creative bag if you want to cut through. But then also you got to be in tandem with the powers that be that will say, you know what, I will allow Turk to go out here and preach this gospel. I will allow Dee-1 to go out here and preach this gospel. And I'll put the bag behind the gospel. But if they're looking at their analytics and based off of historical, data, they're thinking, no, Shake What Your Mama Gave You is going to work better every damn time.
Yeah.
You know what? This is going to sell. This is going to fly off the shelves. You know something else that pissed me off? I don't know if y'all saw this. Lauryn Hill snapped the other day. And when she snapped, you know what she said?
What that?
She said, I made the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. I'm still touring singing that damn album, but they wouldn't let me make another one.
Damn.
The Miseducation was one of the greatest albums of all time, and she said that they wouldn't let her make another one.
Exactly.
My daughters are going to listen to the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill before they listen to anything that's going on right now.
Exactly.
Because that Miseducation album probably saved a lot of lives.
That's one of my wife's favorite
artists. So what was it that caused the industry to say, you know what, Lauryn, even though this album is a great-ass album and you're going to be touring with this thing for the rest of your life, we ain't going to support you making another one of these. Where's that disconnect? Where's that coming from? Because when you got somebody that got the skills to pay the bills.
Man, that's deep.
You see what I'm saying? But then she says, they didn't let me make another album like that.
It's stuck, man. It's stuck in time, and it all go back to that mighty dollar. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I also heard you speak on a lot of female artists, you know. Why do you think females are, going to the direction that they going to, far as the things that they're speaking on, Sexy Red, which I think is a great artist, having the sex tape released and then revealing that she's pregnant and, I just think it's degrading, you know what I'm saying? But why do you think they Nah, I feel like the industry is glorifying our women to be a certain way, because if we gonna glorify women being this way, it should be all women and not just our women, you feel me? And you don't see Britney Spears, all the rest of
Taylor Swift,
you know what I'm saying? Any Adele, you know what I'm saying? You don't see them doing the things that our culture is doing. So don't say female this and this is how females are supposed to do. Why you think it's like that?
Why are the women in the industry pushing the type of messages that they're overwhelmingly pushing right now? It's clearly in an effort to chase money and attention. It's that simple. It's not in an effort to represent themselves in the best manner possible. because they know that there's other aspects of who they are as people than what they putting out there on display. But they are seeing what the industry wants from them, what the fans seem to want from them, and they're like, bet, I could take it there if that's what y'all want, and I'm just gonna turn the volume up to 10, you hear me, and take it all the way there. That's why they doing that. And at the end of the day, it's about who are we serving? Are we serving God, or are we serving the master called money? And people want to believe in God, but serve money. See, that's the difference, brother. In the black community, you're going to be hard-pressed to find somebody who like, man, I don't believe in God, man. What y'all talking about? Everybody want to believe in God, but everybody want to serve money.
Exactly. Well, you know, I think all of these women are very talented, you know what I'm saying? And once again, their singles might be that, but when you listen to their music as a whole, just like the guys who rap about violence, when you listen to it as a whole, I don't think it's glorification no more, you know what I'm saying? Because I can take it here, I can take it there, but this is what's making my money, you know what I'm saying? But then we have to talk about a whole nother thing, and I don't think everybody is on that spiritual walk to where if we gonna be God, it's just gonna be God.
And that's and if we really want to talk, that's the thing. So many people in the music industry aren't ready for that talk. That we were put here as human beings before we were put here as artists. You heard me? That's Tab. You heard me? We know him as Turk. Man, that's Tab, man. This David. You heard me? Y'all know me as Dee-1. Man, it's David. God is not concerned with your persona. He's concerned with you as a person. Not your musical persona, but you as a person and how you are living your life and using your time and your talents to either glorify him or not glorify him. And you got people that want to believe in God, but they want to hide behind this curtain called entertainment and say, well, ain't no glorification of God going on here. But I'm just entertaining people, so it's okay. It don't make me wrong.
So how do you feel about people having to pick a side then? I mean, because like you said, lukewarm is a difficult place to be when you're looking at the creator. But in the world that we live in, lukewarm is how you survive. So speak to that, because like I say, if you're not going to be lukewarm, then you're going to be a free man.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying? And everybody's not ready to be a free man.
Bro, I love y'all boys, man. Being a free man don't mean that you're going to be a rich man by the world standards.
At all.
But it means that you're storing up your riches in heaven.
That's right.
But then you could be a glitch in the matrix and you realize, and by the grace of God, I've realized that you can still have worldly wealth and still be storing up your riches in heaven. It's not impossible. You know what I mean? So shout out to the people with the big public platforms who still put God on display boldly. Shout out to Coach Prime.
Yeah.
Shout out to Deion Sanders. Getting to the bag, but getting to the blessings, you heard me? And still putting that word out there. It's possible.
And see, I love what you said right there, but as a free man, now don't get it messed up. Everybody can get to this money, but that's when the education has to come in. See, there are other free men out here that understand how to get to the money, but they're not telling the other people to liberate them so that they could be free as well, because guess what? They want to sit out there with their fishing net in that damn lake by themselves getting all the damn fish. So that's why I come in and I'm like, you know what? You want some information, fellas? Here it is. I got plenty more of it where that came from. But my whole thing is that we're not focusing on getting the information and educating the people to be free. So if I don't know how to fish when I leave my job, stuff is gonna get real, because survival instincts have to kick in too. And you need to figure out how to eat tonight.
And he also say he want us to have the abundant life, you know what I'm saying? Job was a rich man, Joseph was a rich man, you know what I'm saying? Moses, everybody, David, they was all rich men. So what was their difference in being rich and the people who are rich today? Where do the line draw? What's the difference then? Because they was rich too. What did they do different that we need to be doing today?
The difference is what you got to glorify in order to get them riches. That's the difference. And if it's not, them blessings and that elevation is not coming from God, if you having to glorify things that are clearly not of God and not right in God's eyes in order to ascertain them blessings.
But even Moses killed, Paul was Saul killed. They did all these things, but they were still great people. So is it up to us to say, you glorifying it. That's when I think it becomes judgmental and we judging, you feel me? And when we point the finger, 3 pointing back at us. So, and that's why I have to come to the offense of Rick Ross. You know, when he say, I'm doing this, I'm giving this, I'm doing this, pay attention to the good. I'm, you know, yeah, I'm not perfect, you know what I'm saying? But so are you, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's where we have to, like, be, you know,
show some grace,
understanding of each other, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't think he's a bad person. I know you ain't a bad person. I'm not a bad person.
Yeah.
A lot of us have good in us because we all come from God.
Absolutely.
But we all have to grow to the realization of who we really are and realize when we realize that, that's when we have everything. And everybody just not there at the same time. You feel me?
5 words. Accountability is not an attack. That's it, bro. Accountability is not an attack. That doesn't mean that we not called to show grace to people and be patient with people, but at a certain point, it's not hating on nobody, it's not being jealous, it's not trying to go viral off somebody's name. It's called accountability, man. You know, they won't call it clout chasing when they're looking for an excuse to basically be like, hey, don't hold people accountable. One thing I would never do, 2 things I would never do. Y'all in the hallway recording, record this. No, record this. Yeah. Look, for those of y'all who watching online, the hallway is packed. You heard me? They like, oh, they talking that talking here. 2 things I would never do. Number 1, I would never publicly call out someone for vices or shortcomings that they're dealing with personally. So you dealing with this as a man behind the scenes and you struggling with this, but I'm going to go put that on Front Street publicly. No. Public actions and public messages deserve public responses. Exactly. So I never do that because that's bullying and taking advantage of somebody. That's number 1. Number 2, I will never talk about the teenagers and the little young dudes that's still in their 20s, they're still trying to figure life out. They dealing with trauma. They getting popular and famous off of glorifying a bunch of messages that's getting them paid, but it might not be the healthiest for the community. Their brain is still developing until they're the age of 27. I will never call them out in such a way that's like, man, y'all got to do better, da-da-da. We here to teach them. But they looking up to the OGs in their 30s, in their 40s, and in their 50s. So if you in that type of bracket and you still out here practicing willful ignorance, you know better, but you choosing not to do better.
Some accountability.
Thank you, Turk. I love you, brother.
Yeah, now what you breaking it down like that is communicated the right way. So we was off camera and I was telling you it ain't what you saying, it's how you saying it. How you just broke it down like that, I think that's the conversations we have to have in order to have an overstanding, bro. And every altercation or confrontation comes from a misunderstanding. And that's what we have, especially as black folks. Like, we don't know how to come and move our ego to the side, you know what I'm saying?
You right.
Like, even with me and my brothers, man, like, it's public. The world see what's going on. It ain't no secret, you know what I'm saying? We got a lot to deal with. You know, and some things we gonna deal with where y'all gonna see, some things y'all not gonna see, and y'all just gonna see the you know, the results of it. You feel me? But man, that was perfectly said, bro. Like, we all have to be held accountable. You feel me? Everybody, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't nobody want to become successful then fall back and be in that cold motherfucking cell, man. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a man, 8 year, 8 months, 16 days. They say I said because I really, really went through it. And I know what it feel like. And that ain't no place for no human being. You know what I'm saying? Yep. But yeah, we have to hold ourselves accountable, man.
Lastly, fellas, what is the solution though? What is the solution?
Communication, the right communication. And moving your ego, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how much money you got. I'm not impressed by your watch, necklace, earrings, and grill. You feel me? Because we all can get that if we all put our mind to getting that. You know what I'm saying? Let's do something that we all trying to do, and that's find ourselves so we can have everything. You know what I'm talking about? We have to communicate, man. And if you found yourself, tell me how to find mine. You know what I'm talking about?
You snap.
Yeah. The solution is definitely dialogue and communication. It's prayer. And it's not talking about what our truth is, but being in submission to the truth. And if we're not in agreement that there's a universal truth, which to me, that's the word of God, If we not in agreement with that, then everybody gonna be like, man, this is my truth right here, man. This how I'm doing me. And you hating. If you hating on my truth, no, there has to be a truth that we say we all in submission to. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at with it, bro. The communication is healthy. I want all of the brothers, I mean, since I said their names before, might as well say it now. Jim Jones, I love you. Meek Mill, I love you. Rick Ross, I love you. And I love you even more now because as a brother who, as another man that God created, like now this has become something where people have seen an exchange between us, and the world wants it to become something negative and unhealthy. But let's make sure we use this as an opportunity to educate and to communicate. And if that means we can be friends at the end of this, cool. If we can't ever be friends, cool. All good. Just go be a better man of God, and I'm going to try to be the best man of God I could be, and it's Gucci.
I can dig
Telling the truth, nah, hey.
Look, before we end this, man, can I rap right quick?
Say what you need.
Because I'm a rapper, and I was doing all this talking nowadays. Every media outlet want. And my thing is like, yeah, bro, it's like, I just want people to know, man, because a lot of people looking, and they're like, man, Willie Daddy talking about who he think he is, man. I've been successful in this game for a long time by the grace of God, building my own lane. He know where we from. Yeah. What I do, there wasn't a lane for this, where I'm from. You know what I'm saying?
Come on now.
Look. I don't care if you know me. You about to respect how I step. Why would you think I'd ever fear you? I don't even fear death. A scary boy need a gun like bad breath need a gum. Yeah, your teeth clean, but I know the power of the tongue. I'm a man of God. I ain't superstitious. From New Orleans, where Birdman quotes get treated like Bible scriptures. But me, I ain't the type to brag about what I done bought. I make silent moves, but I get loud results. If Dee-1 talk about his pain, you gonna really relate. Dee-1 talk about his paper, you gonna know that he's straight. You go ask about Dee-1, they gonna tell you he great. Dee-1 rap on top of your beat, you gonna know that he ate. You bragging about what you done been through, partner, we survivors too. And you calling boys your brothers, which one's gonna ride for you? Ain't no G-code no more, boy, the streets done lied to you. That's why I be in my bag, but I be in my Bible too. They don't like me, but they know they can't deny me. Man, I'm a real gangster, and you know right where to find me. G-A-N-G-S-T-A, do not try me. Growing and nurturing gifts, serving the Almighty. Keep up. A lot of people feel how I be feeling, but don't speak up. I be out at Harvard in my office with my feet up. God, why you so good to me? I need answers. Slaves built this school. Now I own real estate on campus. Man, let me stop right there, man.
Well, D1, I'm going to need you back because I didn't even get a chance to get into that part, the education part.
The education part, the children's book I got out right now. David found his Slingshot anti-bullying hip-hop children's book. Thousands of kids around the country being blessed with it. Available at missionvisionlifestyle.com. The link is in my Instagram bio, and my 10th album, Uno, available right now. We didn't even get to talk about that, but that's okay.
Oh, you coming back, sir?
Part 2.
Oh!
Telling the truth, not hating.
Contacts, though.
And he's still on fire.
Still on fire.
My brother. Hey, I love this dude. Man. I do.
What's the Instagrams, man?
Dee-1 Music. D-E-E, the #1 music. And it's the same on all social media platforms. And just on streaming, it's just Dee-1. D-E-E dash the #1.
And this is about my brother Dee-1. Y'all already know, man. You know, I support all understanding that came to overstanding, telling the truth, not hate.
Y'all heard the man get down with the movement.